This is Uche, sneaker principal, and just finished hitting about 200 golf balls. And I have to tell you, I'm exhausted. I am beat. Um, but it's a good way to offset my daily workouts. People who think that just hitting golf balls is like light work and it's not really a workout, trust me. Right now, my hands are all eaten up, calluses. Um, my shoulder is on fire. My lower back is stiff. It's a workout for sure, without a doubt. Um, One of the things I always tell people, like you got to have something that you do on a consistent basis that offsets the 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 daily norms that you face and engage in every day. Um, and for me, working out has been that thing. It's definitely a stress reliever. For those of you who know, as a school principal, as a school administrator, as an educator, even any field of of career that you're in, it's stressful. There's always something that you're doing um, that just makes life a little bit more complicated. And so having those things that you can do to kind of like distract you, or even better yet, sharpen you is a good thing. For me, working out is keeping me stronger. Listen, I'm not a spring chicken, so the workouts is definitely keeping me in a space where I feel strong, I feel capable, and even mentally, I feel sharper. And then playing golf, it's a challenge. I suck at it. I'm gonna tell you right now. Anyone who's ever played with me, the last time I went out playing, two people almost lost their lives. I mean, they didn't almost lose their lives, but there were definitely golf balls that I hit. They were hitting that made contact with their bodies. It was not intentional, but again, I'm working on it. So, my brothers, those of you, those of you who got hit doing the same round of golf on the same day, um, literally about a half an hour apart, I apologize. That was not intentional. But again, golf is tough. It's a tough sport because it requires a lot of concentration and even the physicality of it. Just being able to hit a ball that's about that big, for yards. People are hitting them 100 yards, 200 yards, 300 yards. We're talking about the length of football fields. Um, but again, it's one of those things where when you do it, you're like, how come I'm not hitting the ball hard enough? How come this is not moving or it's not doing what I think it should be doing? So it takes a lot of you out of you mentally and sometimes emotionally. I usually start off around the first couple of holes just like bust up with anxiety because I don't want to look bad. I, how come I'm not hitting the ball like everybody else is? But then as time goes on, you start to relax and you start to have fun. And I think that's the key, to have fun. But and It's funny, as I was thinking about this, making this video, I was thinking about playing golf and leading a school or just being a leader. It's very much the same thing. You know, I'm leading my third school, in my career as a principal. And each time I've taken over a school, I've gone through those phases where you're like, okay, I know what I should be doing. I've been trained. I know the motions. I know the movement. I know exactly what's required for me to be successful at this role. But then you start off and you start dealing with all the little nuances, the little things that you didn't anticipate. It might be students, it might be staff, it might be parents, it might be the culture of the school, it might be the cafeteria, it might be all these little things that are happening. And then all of a sudden, as you're trying to fix them, you start to hit these stumbling blocks, these certain things that are not quite responding to what you're trying to do the way you thought it should be responding. And all of a sudden, you start to doubt yourself. You start to ask yourself, how come I'm trying to hit this ball that I've hit 100 times on driving range and it's worked, but here I am in other space and it's not working. I'm shanking the ball. It's going left, it's going right, or it's not even going anywhere. I'm hitting dirt. I'm knocking off dirt patches off the course. And the same thing in the school building. You're like, okay, I know this should work. And I've applied this before, but here's not working. Oh, I've given the same speech to certain teachers, but over here it's not working. Like all those things, all those little things that you think should be applying and they're not applying. And then guess what happens? You start to doubt yourself. You start to question. You start to become afraid because as a leader, you know, you're leading under the leadership of another leader. So it might be if you're an assistant principal, it's your principal. If you're a principal, it's your superintendent. If you're a superintendent, it's the deputy chancellors and deputy um, CEOs or whatever the case, those roles may be, wherever you're at, you start to really question yourself. But the one thing I always tell people is this, and the one thing I keep reminding myself is even in those moments where you're like, oh my God, this is not working, this is not connecting the way it should be, you have to give yourself grace and patience. And you just keep working on your technique, keep applying it, because you know it works. In some places, things don't quite happen the way you think it's supposed to happen in the same speed, in the same manner as it's happened in other places. But the key is always patience. You always allow yourself from that ball, and you take your swings by the numbers. You allow yourself from that ball. If you're driving the ball, should the ball be to your lead foot or should it be to your back foot if you're trying to loft the ball? Same thing in the school. If you're trying to change culture, where should your foot be? What should you be focusing on? What are the things that you have to hold on to no matter how long it takes until that shift happens? One thing I tell people is this, and I've done this playing golf. I keep trying, I keep shifting left and right. Okay, it didn't work this time, so I'm going to do this. It didn't work this time, I'm going to do this. It didn't work here, I'm going to do this. And I keep doing that and wondering why things are getting worse and worse. Sometimes you guys stick to that one thing, and look at and collect all your data points and actually analyze it and ask yourself, is this not working because of this one little thing here? You know, is this working because of this other thing over here? But you won't know that if you keep moving around, because then you're creating too many variables for you to try to collect data points from. So as you prepare for the new school year, which it's summertime right now, a lot of us are vacationing. A lot of us are, and even while we're vacationing, we're asking ourselves a lot of questions. We're we're planning things out. We're writing things out. We're we're meeting with our team members. We're talking with our superintendents, and we're trying to figure out like what's the best course of action. The one thing I want to ask is this: whatever the plan is, remain steady. Collect your data points. Okay, don't just shift as soon as things start looking, off course. Because when you do that, then you find yourself in a position where, eventually you don't even know what's what anymore, why things are not happening, and then you're just moving based on emotion and fear, and you don't want to do that. You want to stay the course. Um, I hope this is helpful to someone out there, because I was thinking about that this morning, and and the work we do as school leaders, it's not easy. It's tough. But we have to be patient. We have to give ourselves grace, collect data, analyze that data, and be patient with yourself. Trust me. The things that you're working towards, the goals, the aims, all those things that you have for yourself and for your school community, it will come to fruition. Just be patient. All right, y'all. Uche and Joku, Sneaker Principal. Talk to y'all soon. Be well.